2x minus x equals 4. How do we do a problem like this? Okay, well, there's two steps. If you look over here at the camel, I'm going to draw a little mark on the first hump. And the first hump is knowing that you can just ignore all the big scary words in the chapter titles and the headings and so forth that describe these kind of problems. No one told me this when I learned algebra, but all these big scary words like linear equations, they don't mean anything. And you don't have to know them. All you have to do in math class is work the math problems. And that should be a big relief to you. A lot of people, including myself, when we learned algebra, we get blown away by these big scary words, and then we never really even get to working on the math problems. And the math problems are actually the easiest part. So I just want to kind of give you a warning and let you know, kind of give you a license to absolutely forget about and completely ignore the big scary words. The big scary word on this chapter is linear equations. Rah, 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 rah. Don't worry about that. The problems here are the easy part. That's what we're going to do. And you can completely and totally ignore the big scary words. In fact, that's why we have the shark and the dinosaur up here, just to kind of make fun of these big scary words. It's as if the shark and the dinosaur are trying to scare you. You know, they say rah, rah, big scary words like linear equations and try to scare you. But that's all they do. They don't bite you. They don't hurt you. And you're never going to have to know these words. So that's great. It should be a big relief to you. Nobody ever told me that. So don't worry about the big scary words. Forget about the shark and the dinosaur. Let's just go over here to Fluffy Piggy. And Fluffy Piggy says all we need to do is work the little problems. So here's a little problem. And we're going to do that. And Fluffy Piggy would approve. So how do we do this? When we see x and some numbers on both sides of an equation, we want to solve for x. We want to get x by itself. We want to have something like x equals 4, or x equals 2, or x equals 1. Something like that is what we're shooting for. So we need to isolate x, or get x by itself. So the first thing to do is just make the problem as simple as possible. And right now I see 2x minus x equals 4. So is there anything that we could simplify right away before we even start working the problem? And 2x minus x is really just the same as 1x, okay? Because 2 times x minus 1 times x is the same as, it's like 2 minus 1, right? So 2x minus x is 1x. So the left side of the problem simplifies to just 1x. And the right side stays the same with just the number 4. So 1x equals 4. And that's the same as saying x equals 4. And believe it or not, that is our solution. That's all there is to it. X equals 4. That was pretty easy. You can do this. And we could stop right there and we'd be done. We could move on to the next problem. But if you want to check your work and make sure you didn't make a mistake, you can plug this 4 back into the original equation and see if it holds true, if both sides are equal. And that way you know you didn't make a mistake. So I'm just going to rewrite the original problem over here, and then we'll plug in 4 and see if everything checks out. So the original problem here is 2x minus x. It's just like saying minus 1x, right? So 2x minus x equals 4. And then I want to take our 4 that we solved for, our solution of x equals 4, and plug it in, stick it in, dump it in, throw it in, however you want to say it. But wherever there's an x, we're going to put in a 4 and see if everything checks out. So 2 and now x. So instead of x, I'm just going to put a 4. 2 times, instead of 2 times x, it's 2 times 4. Minus, here we have another x. So I'll plug in a 4 there. Equals 4. And now we'll just keep simplifying and see what happens. So 2 times 4, that simplifies to 8. And then everything else stays the same. Minus 4 equals 4. And then once again, we'll simplify the left side of the equation. 8 minus 4 is simply 4. And on the right side, we have 4. Well, look at this. 4 equals 4. That's true. It checks out. So I'm going to put a big check mark there. And that means that our solution of x equals 4 was correct. And I'm going to give us an A+.
Thumbs up and subscribe. For more videos like this, check out algebravideos.com.